And then I think it ties into the last two, which are more solution oriented. We focused 6 ideas on prioritizing opportunities. And I think we're now moving to the solution work. As mentioned already, it's like for the teams to figure out the best solutions. But if you let them go and do their own thing and don't create that feedback loop, you'll never know if the customer experience is impacted and if you actually achieve the goals. So this is the fragmentation that happens in a lot of organizations. We're really specific on a feature, but maybe not in line with how we actually see and maintain the bigger picture. So how are we looking at that? And I think that is where the solutions come in. So back to the journey. If we have an opportunity, let me go and pull up the ones from Kaspar. What you actually want to do is look into the solution effort it takes to build this opportunity. And this is where prioritizing the backlog comes in. So let's say we've agreed, let's say this opportunity is part of the strategic objective for this quarter. What you then want to do is look into the solution space and bring in the knowledge of the teams. And it can be 2 ways of doing this. One is you go out and figure it out on your own, new solutions, new ideas, you're going to validate, you're going to experiment. That can be a way of doing it. Or it can be like, hey, are we already having plans to create new content, new features, maybe new value propositions for specifically addressing this opportunity? And that is where solution tracking comes in. And let me just take the improve information overview and then look at the unlimited everywhere solution, right? Wonderful solution. I think some telcos have already implemented this, and this is not invented by us. But let's say there is a solution initiative running that is focusing on unlimited everywhere that addresses this opportunity. Now, some teams will say, let's put this on the backlog, and we are responsible for creating that epic, if you will, on the roadmap. In other cases, it will be there is already something going on in product team. So here you will see, and I'm going to unlink this for specific purposes, but we've set this up with Jira just as an example. Use your favorite product management tool in your organization as a reference point. But by linking it, you can say, okay, let's take the project or the team that should be working on it. Let's define it as an epic or a task. And then if this is the workflow that you have, let's push it and let's create that epic. So now you've created the link. And if you have TheyDo and Jira, for instance, set up, you will also be able to track this in Jira. So this will get picked up by the product team. There will be tasks, issues, stories. There will be parts of the roadmap. And once this is actually fully implemented, automatically the system will be in sync. So there will be a notification back to TheyDo. The status will change into set live. And everyone involved in the journey where the problem arrives from, the opportunity that you created, and then the solution effort that was taken will be notified and knows, hey, okay, so we've actually implemented the solution. Now let's see if the customer experience changes. So that is one of the ways to keep your backlog in sync. And this will require some nuanced discussions with your product managers, with your product teams. Like, how do we want this to work? And how do we want to bring in what we already have? Because you can also say, hey, let's just link it to things that you already have and find that epic that this actually addresses. Oh, there's the unlimited epic and limited everywhere epic, right? You can just link it and we sync it. So we bring in the data from, let's say, Jira back to TheyDo. It can also be a way of doing it and take small steps. You don't need to do everything, but using the solution part of it, link it to opportunities, will allow you to sync both. All right, I hope that was clear. So aim for a sync backlog, because opportunities by nature are cross-functional and solutions can be specific for a part of your organization. And backlog doesn't mean feature backlog. It can also mean roadmap for your marketing teams or your operational teams, or maybe even sales teams that want to change their process. And by tracking them, and I combined a little bit, you will be able to create that feedback loop. So having that in place, syncing it back to your journeys, will also make your opportunity and solution links more relevant, because you will know what impacts what and who's working on what. Or as they do, where we're not doing things that we are supposed to do in line with our company goals. So those are a few things to look into when you're doing solution prioritization. And again, we're not going into RISE frameworks or really understanding the impact of specific solutions. I think that is wonderful that teams have systems for that. But tracking that in line with your journey management, that is, I think, where most visible impact can be made in an organization.